Hello VC, I'm Gary, and this is Physical Format Rock and Roll. I just want to do a quick video here for my very good friend George Allen from George Allen's Vinyl LPs and CDs. George is trying to make a push to get to 200 subscribers, and he's just about there. So he's having a little contest. And first thing I want to say is that I definitely recommend you go check out George's channel. Once again, George Allen, Vinyl LPs and CDs. George has a wealth of musical knowledge that he shares. I used to kind of pigeonhole him and say he was like a jazz guy, but he talks about more than just jazz. He does love jazz, and he talks about that a lot, and he knows a lot about it, but he also talks about classic rock and even some modern rock. He has been surprising me lately with some of the things that he throws in there, so I definitely don't want to pigeonhole him. I just want to say he has a great channel, and he's one of my first friends that I made in the vinyl community. So I want to do this video for him. He wants it to be short, so I'm kind of trying to hurry here a little bit. He would like us to pick your favorite artists from the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and then show like one of your favorite albums of theirs. I have a hard time saying this is my absolute favorite kind of thing because I'm a music nerd, but I'll be pretty close here. So in the 60s, I got to go with the Rolling Stones, and I'm going to pick Let It Bleed. This just makes it under the wire. This is from 1969. It's a fantastic album, and it kind of closes out the 60s, right? It's not all about peace and love on here. This is kind of a dark, violent album at times, but it's great. It's got so many of their best songs on here, starting with Gimme Shelter. One of the best album openers of all time, right? But it's also got Live With Me, You Can't Always Get What You Want, a terrific remake of Robert Johnson's Love in Vain, and it also has one of my favorite Stone songs, Midnight Rambler. So that's for the 60s. 70s. Well, it's always going to be between Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. So right here, we're going to go Led Zeppelin. Physical Graffiti from 1975. This is a double studio album, and the fact that it's Led Zeppelin just makes it that much better. Most of the time, double studio albums have a lot of filler in them. There's always songs that they could have cut out, but I love everything on here. You know, from Kashmir to In My Time of Dying, Trampled Underfoot, The Rover. I love that song. This is just a great album. Led Zeppelin. Physical Graffiti from the 70s. From the 80s. I don't know. So many bands to pick from, and I thought, well, I already had this album out for a video I just made, so I am going to go with Judas Priest, Defenders of the Faith. Probably my favorite Judas Priest album. I love this album by Priest. It is heavy, and it's just, there's so many great songs and so many great heavy metal moments on it. It's just fun. This is just a fun, heavy album. So those are my picks from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. George is having his contest, and he is actually offering $50 to the winner to go to your PayPal account. But I don't really care about that. I just want to give a shout out to my good friend George, and I want to recommend him highly for people to go check out his channel and subscribe to him. It's George Allen, Vinyl LPs and CDs. George and I talk a lot back and forth, so we're good friends, and I think you'll become friends with him too if you check out his channel. So anyway, I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'd appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in. Till next time, I will see you down the road.